I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. No big, I feel like Pac. I shoot a shot. I'm coming in hot. Coming in hot. Shoot that. Hey, why not? Yeah, coming in hot. Coming in hot. Just like the fajita. I write what I live.
All right. Perfect. Welcome back to another episode of the Keaton Taylor podcast. Today we got Hayden Cantrelle. Kind of introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me. I know we've been trying to do this for a while, but my name's Hayden Cantrelle. I am a professional baseball player for the Chicago Cubs. I'm from Lafayette, Louisiana. I went to school here in Lafayette at University of Louisiana. I played shortstop over there. In 2020, I was drafted by the Brewers. Played there for one season in 2021, and they traded me to the Marlins. And then I got traded to the Giants. And then last offseason, I got Rule 5 for the Cubs. And I am currently here in the offseason back home, just eating some good food because I've missed it, and doing some things I haven't gotten to do, like merchandise from our website and working on the YouTube channel. So, that's what's been up.
Nice. That's exciting.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, after a long season, you probably need the off season.
Yeah, I mean, once you get going and, Valentine's Day comes, your phone rings, it's getting ready to get ready for big league camp games. And then sooner you know it, it's 6 games a week and you taking the flights and the bus rides. So if you're not ready to settle in early, it kind of comes at you quick. But, it was a good year. It was fun. So you can sit back and rest after a good season. So.
Yeah, that's good. That's very good. Well, I'll go on and start with the questions. So,
right.
Just curious, what got you into baseball?
I grew up my dad. When I grew up living with my dad, I'd stay at my dad's house and stay at my mom's house. There's videos of me on camcorder hitting like a wiffle ball on a one hop sort of bounce thing. So before I could even speak words, I would swing a bat and hit a ball. I wouldn't hit it in the air, but I'd hit it off a bounce sort of thing. And then before I can even remember, I was playing wiffle ball with my dad in the backyard, and that never stopped. You know what I mean? So I was always into the game. I was into like Barry Bonds. I was into like Sammy Sosa, Edgar Renteria. Like those were all like I'd read baseball books and stuff like that. So I was always kind of into it. I wasn't really sure that was going to be like a job until I was probably like in high school, and I was thinking kind of like I was trying to think more like an adult, but I mean, obviously I wasn't. But growing into it, I just played every sport like as hard as I could. I love soccer. I love football. I love basketball. I picked up track later when I was in high school, but as high school went on, it was just like my tools for on the baseball field really stand out. I thought I was a good football player, but if you're going to be 175 pounds returning kicks in D1, you got to be like at least 185 and running a 4.3. And I was like 165 running a 4.4. And that was like, that's not going to cut it. So at one point in my life, I wanted to sign out of high school. And if baseball didn't work, I wanted to come back and then go to college for football. Like, that's how I always thought in my head, like, okay, if baseball didn't pan out, I'd be able to try both. I always wanted to do both growing up, actually. But like I said, my body, by the time I graduated as a senior, was like, it wasn't ready, needless to
Yeah.
say. So, that was kind of like how my sports career went. And, but baseball was always one of those things. And, for whatever reason along the way, maybe like when I was a teenager, kids started growing past me. I was always kind of like, I was an undersized, but I was always athletic enough to like be at the top for like, I guess you could say like power skill and like baseball, whether that was like pitching fast off the mound or being able to hit a ball to the fence. Like I could do those things, but by age 13, 14, kids were flying me by who I was like, these kids were not working as hard as I did. They literally just physically different than me right now. So I'd probably say like right around there is right when I started like locking in and like truly practicing my craft like as as well as I could, and started finding like a bunch of like researching and trying to like, that's when I got into YouTube, and I'd watch everybody's at bat in college. Like I remember watching like Nico Horner's college at bats at Stanford, because I was like, these are guys in positions that I want to be in. So I probably say like age 14, I started seriously like Bryce Harper, like his viral 16-year-old video hitting balls in Tropicana. Like that video was saved on my phone like 15 years ago. So like it's still there if I ever want to like tap into that. But that's where the obsession came along, because I started by age 15. I was a freshman in high school. I loved the game, but I was ineligible to play varsity because of like my feeder school. Like I chose to go to this private school across town, so I wasn't eligible as a freshman. So I did a lot of like just work, just grinding for the big guys. And I was like, if I can get a chance to be on the field with them and show I belong, like that's going to be like really important to me. So by the time I was a sophomore, like I had earned the respect of the older guys, which is what I really wanted. I wanted the older seniors and juniors to respect me on the team, not as like a, not like a in that sort of way, but more so like okay, this guy's going to compete. He's not going to be entitled or whatnot. Like, and I always wanted to keep that rep. So I had a good year of success as a sophomore, and that's when like I guess like my peers were like, "Yo, dude, like you're the real deal," And that's like in high school, I didn't even accomplish that because I wasn't hitting any homers. Like in my head, I was like, "Yeah, but you're just hitting singles. Like you're just getting on base for the guys behind you to do the job." And then now, so as a professional, like that is what my job is. I am my job, or what I'm good at. At worst case, maybe I'm not driving in runs every night, but somebody behind me is going to get a chance because of the way I play. And so that's kind of like, that's been the driving factor ever since I was like a teenager. So, and I've been in love with that version of it since then.
Hey, that's awesome. That answered about 5 questions in one. That was a great response.
Yeah, that did answer about 5.
Yeah.
Let's see. What route do I want to go on my next one? All right. So talking about when you got drafted, how did you like your MLB draft experience? I know you posted a couple of videos about it, but kind of a brief summary of how your experience went.
So my first summer, well, I'll back it up then. My MLB draft experience I'll talk about the one in 2020, but I'll talk about how it was set up. After my senior year of high school, I've done decently well. In the summer before, as a junior in high school, I'd done a couple Georgia tournaments, and I just I went off in the World Wood Bats. I hit like 11 homers in the 2 tournaments combined.
Wow.
And I just like, that was the first time I ever hit with power with a wooden bat. Like I was telling you guys, I was like a singles hitter, was getting on base. I find the sweets, but that was the summer I was age 17. I hit like 6 home runs and like a World Wood Bat for the 17U, and then I did the 18U, and I had some good success as well. So that's when I like started believing like I had a chance. And so when I got back to school, I was having meetings with scouts. Like scouts would come to the house. And that was just like so crazy. Like just, I don't know, like for whatever reason, before you're in pro ball, like scouts are like, that's your closest thing to pro baseball. So I don't know, that sort of made it real, I'd say. When I was a senior, I was in like a bunch of conversations with some some teams. Some teams like the Royals were like saying, "Hey, we want to draft you as a catcher," even though I hadn't caught since I was 14. And then the Yankees wanted to draft me as a center fielder, so we couldn't get to negotiations with that. So at one point in the draft, it was the 3rd day of the draft. My parents had left. I was at home by myself. I went swimming because we had a pool at the time. And I went swimming. I came back. My phone blew up, and the Yankees had like courtesy picked me in the 40th round. And I was like, wow, dude. I was just like, it was crazy, but it was a moment by myself. Like I saw it after like an hour later. My friends were blowing up my phone. My phone froze. But because I got drafted, I was able to play in the Cape Cod League after my freshman year. And that was a big deal because that was really where 2020 started lining up. So before I went into college, I played in the Calrican Collegiate League, which only accepted seniors out of high school that had been drafted. So that was like a big deal. So once I had finished that summer ball, once I finished high school, I played that summer in Maryland. And because I played in that league, whenever I showed up as a freshman at UL, the Cape Cod, like one of the teams in the Cape Cod had like an offer to sign me before I'd even played a college season, that was a big deal. Like rarely do players get to play 2 seasons in the Cape Cod. So played my freshman season at UL. I did fine. I had a decent year. And I went to the Cape Cod and I struggled that first summer. And I tell like the people there is kind of the reason why I got drafted, because I struggled to hit like 167 that year in the Cape Cod. And I went back to school and I was like, okay, I know what I got to work on. Like physically, I had some adjustments I needed to make as far as like my routines and whatnot. And like I figured it out. And God, they invited me back because they invited me back. I had a great sophomore year at school and they invited me back to the Cape. And then I hit 314 and I started shortstop in the Cape Cod All-Star game. And that's when like it was kind of like in stone in my head, like this is going to be your last year of school. Like I know that's kind of like a cliche thought, and like to my teammates that's probably like not the coolest thing to hear, but in my head I was like, okay, the path is there for you to go and take it now, sort of thing. So 17 games go by my junior season, and of 2020 happened and they stopped our season short. I was hitting like historically a slow college starter. I started slow again my junior season, and 17 games in, they banged the season. So I'm sitting there like, dang, dude, it's like it may not come, you know. So we had like a draft day thing. I think going into the season, I was projected first 2 rounds. And so like once the draft came around, like it was kind of months after the season, and I'm like, I'm still optimistic, but I know I'm not going to get first 2 round money just because of the way I started,
Right.
which was unfortunate because I usually feel like I would always dig myself out and just go ballistic at one point, but that's besides the point. That didn't happen, so I can't really say it was going to happen. So we had a little draft party at my house. It was cool. Crazy part about the 2020 draft is it was only 5 rounds, and
Yeah.
if you like looking back at the draft, there were a few guys in my conference that got drafted in front of me that weren't supposed to get drafted in front of me. If you were looking at the season like from before the season started, whatever. Granted, I'm not taking anything away from those guys, but the bonus pools, the way these teams were getting money was like unlike they've ever done it. Usually there's 20. Well, now there's 20, right? But my first year there was 40. Now there was 5, and you're seeing a lot of teams go all in on their first 2 picks with their bonus pools, and then they were saving for their last 3. So there were dudes in my conference signing for 20K in the 3rd round. Like think about like that's how it was going. So it was a little bit stressful. Everybody was at my house. First round comes and goes, no worries. Second round comes and goes, no worries. Third round comes and goes, and I'm like, shit. You know, my phone was ringing, but it was like, we'll make an offer. It's like, can you accept 50K? And I'm like, no. Like, no. There's boom. So it was like I had to wait. And at one point in the draft, I had like, okay, my agent was like, well, you have like X amount of teams that are going to offer you 100K.
Right.
And so I picked the team. I'm not going to say who it was because it's irrelevant now. But I picked a team. I was like, okay, well, you tell them I'll sign with them for this at that pick. And then I hung up the phone. I'm telling my dad, I'm like, hey, it's probably going to be this pick. That's who I picked. Because that's kind of how the draft works. Like at a certain point, like I guess the way that draft works, like when the bonus pools are so low, you could have picked. Well, he calls me back and he's like, hey, the Brewers just called and they said they'll sign you for 300. And I was like, let's go, dude. That was awesome. So,
Yeah.
but it was nerve wracking. Everybody in the house, it was like 5th round rolls around. Everybody was like, holy shit. I'm like, damn, did I invite all these people over and we're not even going to be able to, nothing's going to happen. That would have been embarrassing. But 5th round rolls around, the Brewers drafted me, and it was great. There was a lot of people there who had in some way or another helped me get to the part I was. And it was kind of like a weight off my shoulders because I've always felt like all I needed was to be on the field. Like you put me around whoever you want, like my job is to now show you that that's where I belong. So, like once the Brewers picked me, it was kind of like that weight was off my back, and like I had a little bit of money to kind of just like make life a little bit easier for myself. Like I never bought anything crazy. It's not that kind of money, but definitely has made life easier. And then pandemic hit, so I didn't get to play them. And then 2020, we had instructs in November, and then we were off and playing in the next year, 21. So the draft was intense. I was happy it was over. But hopefully no one has to go through like a 5-round debacle like that was. But it was stressful for sure because I only had 17 instead of 56 games. And had I not been invited back to the Cape Cod, I may have not, I wouldn't have had a chance to hit 314 the Cape Cod and start in the All-Star game, which gave me like credential or whatever. But, it mattered. It definitely helped me out. So, that's how that experience went.
So there were
That's
some
awesome.
good things and bad things. So it's great that you got drafted, but there were so many moving pieces that, yes, you got to enjoy it, but there were so many like stressful things behind it.
Yeah, I mean, and that was just whether I felt like I was a shoe-in to get picked or not. At a certain point in the day, it felt like, bro, it may not be you, bro. You may have to go back to school. So, but I'm glad I didn't because I didn't enjoy school. I still don't enjoy it now. Maybe when I'm, whatever. Hopefully, I don't have to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's in the
Yeah, I
past.
got
You
you.
shouldn't have to worry about that now. So just curious, you mentioned the Brewers, and I know you're on the Cubs now. So what was the process like being traded?
I got traded twice. The first time I got traded was kind of an interesting story. So we had just moved from Arizona to Biloxi, Mississippi. So we took a team flight. We all got unpacked on like Wednesday. So we didn't have our apartments ready until Thursday. So we moved into our apartments on Thursday. We have opening night on Friday. So we're moving into our apartment on Thursday. No, that's not true. We got there Tuesday. We moved into our apartment on Wednesday. On Thursday, we had, on the Wednesday, we had a scheduled game against William Carey University. Like it was just an exhibition warm up in Biloxi. So me and my roommate Corey Howell, we were both in the same apartment. We're getting ready for the season. We just unpacked. We're like, yo, it's the first year they got to pay for an apartment. This is sick. We actually got a nice spot. Blah blah blah. The next morning we wake up. We're playing the school on Wednesday, and the catchers, the Brewers catcher, I think his last name was Severino. He got popped for PEDs like that morning or something like that. So we moved into our apartment. We're actually going through a full game day routine, getting ready to play this college team. And we're getting ready to stretch, like do defense, like, and not like 2 hours before the game. Corey Howell, my roommate, gets traded for Victor Caratini, like while we're getting stretched. And I was like, wow, man, like that's real. That's crazy. That was just my roommate. An hour and a half later goes, we finish it in BP. I go take a pregame shower. I'm in the weight room doing my pregame movement routine, and trainer comes in and says, hey, Mikey wants to see you in his office. And I'm like, damn, did you just get released before the season? Whatever. I walk in his office and he goes, hey, bro, bad news for us, good news for you. You just got traded to the Miami Marlins. And I was like, wow. So I got traded for the Marlins catcher right after that. So apparently, like, the Brewers needed catchers. They traded me to the Marlins. So on Friday, I actually played the Biloxi Shuckers. So I played my boys like the next day, which was crazy. I started off the day, I struck out 3 times, and then I got a base hit, and then I hit a double, and then I hit a 3-run homer. So I had 6 at-bats. We went to extra innings. It was a crazy game. 2 months after that, I'm with the Marlins, and it's like 7th inning. We're playing the Montgomery Biscuits. I think I like struck out in the inning in like the bottom of the 7th, and our manager is our third base coach. So as I'm going into the tunnel, I'm putting my helmet in the rack, about to go back up to my position, and like one of the hitting coordinators like holds my shoulder and says, hey, why don't you hold on for a bit? And I'm like, Okay. My manager was in and he whispered something to my manager, and my manager says, "Congratulations, you just got traded to the San Francisco Giants. You can just hang out in the locker room." So I was like, all right. So I was whirlwind. I vlogged that moment actually. If I can go find that, that'd actually be funny to make like a YouTube short out of or something. But yeah, so I like literally moments after I got traded, I'm in the tunnel. I'm making a vlog segment like, "Hey, I got traded again." Blah blah blah. Moved out of another apartment. Shook the manager's hands. The boys I was cool with. So, "Oh, bro, we'll see you on the flip." And yeah, so that was that trade experience. So, but from there, I went from Double A, and I went back to rookie ball. The Giants sent me back to rookie ball because they said everybody has to go through every level in our system, and I'm like, yeah, okay. But I was struggling in Double A, so I was like, you know what, cool. So I went back. I played rookie ball for 2 weeks. I was told I was just going to be going there just to like, you're going to do a movement assessment and then we'll get you shipped out. Well, I got there and I was like, hey, is there like a schedule for me to do a physical or something tomorrow? Because, like, I don't know. You would think when you get traded, the new team is going to like the Marlins too. It's like you think they're going to do like a full physical, make sure like that you're a piece of meat. You know what I mean? So they're going to be like,
Yeah.
make sure everything works. So I was like, none of that happened. They sent me the schedule and all of a sudden I got the rookie ball schedule and I was like, oh my goodness, this is real now. So I made some adjustments in my game. I got some new perspectives in life. I remember 2 weeks in, I was playing for the rookie ball team. We did not lose a game. We were like 11-0. It was legit. That team ended up winning the rookie ball championship that year. But anyways, I remember 2 weeks in, coming off the bus. We're playing we were in Tempe playing playing the Diamondbacks. We got off the field. It was still 104 degrees, like on Snapchat. Like, it was ridiculous. We got parts back at the facility, and they stopped the bus. He goes, "I want to let you guys know, Mr. Cantrelle is going to San Jose," and the bus erupts like with joy for me. It was a perspective check I needed because here I was being 22 years old in the way of all of these like young 18, 17-year-olds, and they're like overjoyed for me that I get to move on. So I was like, I needed that, and I was grateful for that experience. Went to San Jose, played great. We went to High A. We won the league championship that year, and then the year following, I played in Richmond. But I was like, it took that for me to kind of clean up the perspective in a way, maybe in gratitude for like just having a chance. And then I would say I've taken that last year in Richmond was kind of stagnant, but I've took and run with it ever since then. So it was all part of the journey, and it's made me better. So, and last year was just Rule 5, nothing exciting. I'm out in the backyard. My phone starts pinging. "Congrats, dude! You're a Cub. You're a Cub." And I'm like, "Did I get traded for anybody?" And they're like, "No, that was Rule 5." I was like, "Oh, that was today. Okay, whatever." So, new squad, and who knows? It may happen again this month. They don't protect me or whatnot. So, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll definitely see how that goes. But let's see. The last two questions I had was, me and Keaton, we are huge in like our faith in God and everything, and I noticed when I researched you are as well. So how do you integrate your faith in God in baseball? And then that last question is, what is your favorite Bible verse that it's kind of on
Yeah,
your mind?
I'm kind of ashamed because I've already let a few curse words rip, but that's just me telling stories, I guess. But
I'll go, man.
I'm a big man of faith. I know where my strength comes. I know what anxiety comes from as well. Anxiety comes from lack of faith, in my opinion. So I've always been the oldest. I've always had kind of like eyes on me. What are you doing, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that's besides God. That's what been my responsibility. Just being an older brother and whatnot. So, but coming into my faith, my favorite verse, it's a consistency verse, and it is Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. To that extent, it's like Hebrews 6:9 or something like that, and it's on my glove. I wrote it on my glove because it's a reminder to be consistent. You're going to be ups and downs, and somebody's still going to be seeing what kind of man you are. It has nothing to do with the type of ball player or whatnot. It's up to you to turn any tragedy into, something beautiful and to keep something beautiful if it is, So I'm deep in my faith. I can say it's cliche, but I go to mass every day, and that's some days it's my favorite day of the week because it's grounded. I get an hour and a half of silence or an hour of silence, me just shutting my mouth and just using my ears and trying to feel it in my heart. And a lot of days, because the preachers in my area are really good, I get to take home that message and then share it. So I also have the arm sleeves. Subtle reminders are key. It's cool and all for it to be a sale and good for business, whatever. But it's more than that. It's what logo do I want to be representing? You know what I mean? Simple as that. It's like, do I want the Adidas check? Or the Adidas logo, the Nike check? Or it's like, dude, I know what I'm trying to represent if I'm gonna flash a logo here or there, So my sliding mid has it. But that's just like subtle reminders, and being a man is all about consistency, and that's the verse I picked because you're gonna go through it, but on your good days, how are you reminded? On your bad days, how are you reminded? Those are just questions I feel like are important to ask. And if you're ever you're in these tough, anxious situations, like, put it in him, dude. Like, you may not see it off the bat, but that's not for you. It's like you stick to it. I just like personally, like I have probably 1,000 times just been in my car, said something silent, and be like, God, if you're there, like today though, of course we're that way because we're human.
All right, perfect. I will. I'll fix all the editing on that, but yeah.
Okay. I forgot what I was talking about.
I think
so. We'll re-ask the question. What was the favorite Bible verse?
Yeah, and I got that one. I was on a tangent about something though.
You're talking about consistency.
Well, you were like, that's I don't know. I guess I'll just pick up with. I just know just going throughout the season that like certain guys, like, they'll just reach out to you and be like, hey man, I see what you're doing. It's really cool. Whether it's with the sleeves, or it's just little things. Like for us, we have like a little, on Sundays they do like chapel and whatnot, and it's like it's cool to see guys like go out there together. Like the last day of the season this year on a Sunday, it was like the most guys I had ever seen at like they call it baseball chapel. They have an English version and have a Latin version for the players that won it. So it's just unique to see guys doing that. I witnessed a few players get baptized. That's the coolest thing ever. So
that's really cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
You do what you can on the daily to kind of take it with you. And practice as well as you can throughout the season, because it's tough. You're going to come into adversity with something, with baseball wise, and life always happens. Something outside of baseball always happens every summer. So, that's what I got on that. But I could literally just do a whole podcast on how that matters,
Yeah.
We could probably do a whole podcast on that too.
Probably so, honestly.
But did you have any more questions?
Example. Oh, dude, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. I remember. I was like, if you're real, that's what I was saying. It's like, if you're real, like on a cloudy day, like you're gonna pop the sun out, and in an instant, I've had experiences like that. And like, if you're like, I'm looking for something, like maybe I'm missing a shoe or something. My cars are wrecked because I live in it all summer. It's like, okay, but if you're real, I'm gonna find my shoe like in the next 5 minutes, so it doesn't kill me. And then literally the next thing, I'll pull over a blanket and it'll be there. It's like you can attribute that to like coincidence or whatnot, but like there's some reality there to being like to ask for something. Whether that's like instantly like that, like that's not realistic. But like I remember just asking that question in my own humor and just constantly being like, dude, you're so small, like he's so great, like you don't. it's just a constant reminder of that you were just like you need to just submit to his will because it's going to be dictated by him anyway. So, and there's joy in that. There's joy in not having to own the world and having to do everything because you don't. But through him, you can, and there's nothing else that needs to be known.
That's awesome. Thank you for
Yeah.
answering that question.
Yeah.
Taylor, you got any more?
I don't really have any more. He kind of answered all of our questions with the first two, so
Yeah.
that kind of works out.
Yeah, you did great, man.
Yeah. Again, thanks for hopping on with us just for a few minutes to talk with us.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun talking with you, man.
Yeah, dude. I'm sorry I missed those first two. That's on me.
Hey, it's
I
all
want to
good.
get you guys some hoodies though. You guys send me an address and some sizes. I'm gonna throw you guys some hoodies
Yeah,
Oh, no.
absolutely.
if that's
Hey,
cool with
no
y'all.
problem.
Yeah, I'm totally
Oh,
good for that.
That's cool with us. But
All right.
But Keaton, you want to
So
pray
real
it
quick,
out
do you
this
have any
time?
questions for
Oh
us?
yeah, go ahead. Oh
And,
yeah,
Taylor, I'll let you do
I
that.
forgot that part. I forgot that part. Yeah, go ahead. I forgot we're going to try that. But kind of, did you have any questions
Did you
for
hear?
us? Yeah.
Yeah, did you hear the question?
Yeah, where are you guys from, dude?
Yeah, so I'm from Kennesaw, Georgia.
Okay. Berry College, is that where you went to school?
Yeah, that's where I'm going to school currently.
Oh, cool.
So
Oh, cool.
yeah,
You guys are doing like all baseball, or you guys are doing
we're
all
doing
kinds
kind
of
of
stuff?
Pretty
all
much any
sports. It's
sports.
been a lot of baseball.
That's
Yeah,
what's up.
it's been a lot of baseball, a couple of football players, but yeah, mainly baseball so far.
That's fun, dude. I've been saying I want to get like looks like you guys got the setup with the mics. Like that looks
Yeah.
like so much fun, dude.
Yeah,
Because
it's a
like
lot of
whether or
fun.
not you can rip about anything, dude. You can just rip about anything.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Are you guys in the same room or no?
No, I'm at
No.
Shorter, which is right down the road.
Yeah, so we're in two different
Okay,
rooms.
so y'all are actually in two different places right
Yes.
now. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why we have to do the Zoom
Dude.
call.
That's so sick though.
Yeah.
That's so sick. Are there any plans to kind of do it like differently down the road, or y'all just like doing it like this right now?
We
What do you
got
mean differently?
Like
Yeah.
getting a place and kind of doing it like in the same room sort of thing, or this
Hey,
is
if it
just
gets
like the
that
way
big,
it works
why
right now?
not?
Hey, yeah, if it
That's
gets that
that's
way,
what I'm
then
saying,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah, right now it's
I
just
mean,
this.
who knows?
Yeah. If
I
it blows
tell
up, why
everybody,
not?
bro, it's just the matter of consistency too, because like my YouTube same thing. It was like, oh, when you do it like this, are you going to get a better camera? And I'm not. This has nothing to do with you guys' quality because the quality is great. But
Yeah.
I remember just like, hey man, just keep putting out and you'll see growth. If you're gone for growth, if you're not gone for growth, it doesn't matter. You can just keep doing what's fun. Like that's authentic, you know. But like I remember for mine, it was just a little bit of consistency, and all of a sudden it was like there was an audience there, and it was just like I don't know, it wasn't expected because I was doing it just to document it for myself. So when I go look back in years and be like, what was I doing in 2022 in the middle of the summer? It's like I have it documented, you know. So it's like these conversations, whether or not like, you know, it's booming right now or not, it's like you get to have these conversations archived and you can clip them and edit them. It's like, dude, that's work, but like people are here to watch that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always an audience for
The
it.
shorts, yeah, dude. You guys have a YouTube channel, or well, how do you guys upload this?
So,
Uh,
yeah, we have a YouTube channel and we also upload it to Spotify.
Oh, Spotify.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
We do both right now.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what
Yeah.
I had for you guys. You know, it was you guys got to ask me all the questions, so I don't really get to learn who you guys are as much, but I guess that's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Again, you can
just-
ask any question you want.
yeah.
You guys play sports? You guys play sports in high
Oh, I
school?
wish.
I used to.
You wish?
I played baseball till I was 17, 18.
Okay.
I played like
So-
upward sports when I was much younger, like soccer, flag football, all that kind of stuff. But I never played it in high school.
I like how y'all added in the faith component, bro. That's legit.
Yeah.
That's legit.
We wanted something a little bit different than all the other podcasts.
I'll do what I can too. Wherever you guys post it, I'll try to like I'll clip some from my channel too and try to like, hey, y'all go check out the the podcast or the Spotify link, I can put that on YouTube.
Yeah,
as
that'd
well.
be awesome.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
awesome.
So, I mean,
Thank you.
Share it with you.
my subscribers are always like, "Hey, man, you do any podcasts?" It's like I do a lot that aren't mine, so they're like looking to try to find them and stuff. So
Yeah, definitely reach out to anybody that you think might be interested. We'd love to have them
Yeah.
on.
okay, all right, that's good to know. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now watch, we get
But
the entire
again,
Chicago team.
the entire AAA team.
Wait, what's
That'd be kind of fun.
what you say?
Now we get the entire Cubs team to come on.
Yeah, that'd be best case scenario. Some of the dudes kind of don't, they don't really participate in that
Yeah.
kind of teach his own. I like doing them. Just when I can organize my time, as you guys have seen. So
Yeah.
It's all good. You got on. That's all that matters.
all right, I'm good for you
But-
guys, boys.
Awesome. Thank
Go
you,
ahead.
man.
But did you want to pray it out this time, or you want me to do it? You want to
You're
switch
doing a
it
great
out?
job on it, honestly. I think
You know what?
I say we keep consistency.
All
All
right,
right,
I'll
let's
pray
hear
this out and we'll call it a day. Dear God, thank you for this day. Thank you for letting Hayden hop on with us and talk a little about you, talk about a little bit about his journey in baseball. Kind of just keep you in the front of his mind as he continues his journey and makes it to the MLB one day. And just keep you first every day. And amen.
Man.
Amen. Prayers for wisdom. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, you're
All right,
welcome.
Hayden,
well,
thank you so much for hopping on.
It was a pleasure,
Yeah,
man. If
thank
you guys
you.
ever want to do it again, reach out to me.
Oh, yeah.